But what if you could retire much, much earlier?
The rule book has changed in some ways for retirement planning.
How to retire by 40.
Very happy to know that you managed to save quite a bit. How do you manage to do that?
How to retire before you're 20.
How to retire early and rich.
This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenbarger, Bart Steinler, and Shannon Simon.
All right, welcome back to the Keeping Your Money Show. I'm Jamie Westenbarger, joined as always by Bart Steinler. If you're just tuning in or you've been listening the whole time, we've been discussing 8 financial decisions you'll regret later, 8 things you may not know about retirement, and the one secret, Bart, to financial happiness, which I'm not going to tell you because you should have been listening. We already talked about it.
That's right.
You can find previous segments of our show, though, on our website. About a week after we broadcast, you can find them there. Just go to keepingyourmoney.com. You can also find it on iTunes. Just search for the Keeping Your Money Show, and you can locate it there. I'm going to keep dropping in the idea about the golf outing because I want to make sure we get a lot of information out there. This is the 3rd year of our annual charity golf outing. June 21st benefits Kids Food Basket, which if you know about us at all, you know we love Kids Food Basket. June 21st, Thornapple Point Golf Club. We've got lunch, we've got dinner, shotgun start, scramble, all kinds of fun prizes to win, including the chance to win a new Buick. Just amazing stuff out and available in the new Buick, thanks to Todd Wenzel Buick, which I have to say, of course, because we wouldn't have it without them. So
right. And in case you don't know, I mean, you hear us say Kids Food Basket all the time, but there are thousands of kids in this county that go home and they aren't necessarily getting dinner at night.
Yeah.
And then they go to school the next day and they're hungry and they're not learning.
And here's how crazy it is. They feed 7,000 kids
a day.
And they still have thousands on the waiting list that they can't feed right now.
Right.
That's how big of a problem it is, just in this county.
Yeah. So think about it. I mean, you know, most of us listening to this show probably are never skipping a meal because they can't afford the food. But there are kids that are growing up in our town that aren't getting enough food, enough nutrition for them to be able to learn in school. This just can't happen, folks. No. So come out, help us, help the kids in this county get a good dinner every night.
And we're doing a new option this year, too. We heard last year some people said, well, look, I don't golf, but if you'd like to just come to dinner, we have that option as well. So you can take part in, you know, the fun and the silent auction and the 50-50 and all the other cool stuff that we do without having to golf. So if you don't golf, you can just come for dinner, too. So give Alicia a call. 888-98-MONEY is the number. Or you can find out more information on our website at keepingyourmoney.com. All right, so this is something we hear about a lot. There's a lot of local companies throughout West Michigan and a lot of national companies that do this. Of course, about a year ago, in Detroit, Ford and General Motors both started to offer some of these options. And we get this question a lot. What is the right thing to do, guys? Do I take a lifetime pension of payments, or do I let them give me a lump sum chunk of change that I'm responsible for and I've got to somehow generate income from? And the answer is it depends.
Right. I was just going to say, I'll bet you the answer is it depends on your situation, because not everybody's situation is the same. Not everyone's lump sum and pension that they're going to get is the same. I've had clients
company.
You're right. And I've had clients come to me, and I've advised both ways on this. I've advised some to take the lump sum because the deal was not that good. Perhaps the pension was underfunded. The guarantees were not, so good. Other times I've seen, a municipal pension that I talked with someone about 6 months ago. I looked at what they were getting. They'd be a fool not to take that. Mm-hmm. So that's how we advise them.
But there's another thing that kind of goes hand in hand with this, not necessarily just lump sum or pension, but also something we're seeing increasingly is this idea of a subsidized pension, where you get a larger amount until you reach 62, and then you get a much lower amount, the idea being that Social Security would kick in, which kind of forces you to take Social Security at 62. So a lot of times people are wondering about the math with that. So the key is you have to do the math. Sit down with a financial advisor, someone who's not trying to sell you stuff, and isn't going to always recommend you take the lump sum just so they can get the money, but actually give you pros and cons. And here's some things you need to keep in mind. The first thing you need to keep in mind is your company is determining your lump sum payout basically like a life insurance company determines what your premium is for life insurance, okay? Typically, if you took 1 million recipients and you averaged out how much they would receive, the average would be the same lump sum or monthly. That's how they come up with the lump sum number. Now, what you need to figure out is, are you going to be an outlier? And what I mean by that is, do you have potentially a longer life expectancy? Are there a lot of people in your family that just live to be older than old, right? Or maybe it's the flip side of that. Maybe every guy in your family before you has had a heart attack by 65, and maybe you're a little overweight, and maybe you're on a couple medicines, and maybe you don't watch your diet all that well. Well, rolling the dice that you're going to live really long is probably not your best option. It might make more sense for you to take the lump sum, because in a pension, of course, when you die, it's gone.
Right.
Even if you're leaving survivor benefits, you're leaving a reduced survivor benefit, so that probably doesn't make sense either.
And in a longer life, you're probably going to want to have some more flexibility on how you have your money invested. You may want to take part of that money from a lump sum and invest it for long-term growth. You may want to take another part of that lump sum and invest it in something that's going to give you a steady, reliable income. And you may want to keep some of it in a low risk liquid investment that you can draw on for expenses for the next couple of years while the other ones grow.
Yep. The other thing to think about is, what are the rules of your particular pension? Some pensions may require that you start taking the monthly income at 65. Well, maybe you don't need it. Maybe you work in another job or you're working part-time. But if you take a lump sum, maybe, then you could delay taking money out of that. Well, that could extend or even increase the amount that you're going to get. Maybe you are looking at a situation from the standpoint of inflation and things of that nature. You have to look at interest rates. What is your pension company basing the interest rate on? If they have a really high interest rate, great. Take it, because if you can't get that in the market, it's going to be really hard. So a lot of times we'll take what that lump sum amount is and we'll figure out what the annual distribution would need to be. I mean, if that number comes in at like 8%, there's nothing out there paying 8%. They're guaranteeing you 8%. That's pretty solid.
Yeah. Yep. And the other thing you might want to put into the equation too is, do you want some of this money available to leave to your heirs, or to leave to a certain charity
besides just a spouse?
Besides a spouse. So if that money's in a pension, it's going to be hard to do it.
And the last thing is, what is the viability of the company who's promising you this pension? The reality is, many pensions are in trouble. And if you're a city worker or a state worker or a private worker, if you have a pension available, you need to call and get a breakdown of what the financial strength of that pension is. It may make sense to get the lump sum just because you'll actually get your money.
We have found a lot of pensions that are 40 to 50% funded, and this is after a 7-year run where the markets did really well.
Yep.
That is a problem. A lot of municipalities do not have the money to fund their pensions properly.
Yep, absolutely. All right, coming up, we're going to wrap up the show, send you into the weekend right here on the Keeping Your Money Show.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenbarger. Volatility is definitely part of the market equation this year. Do you have a financial plan in place to handle the ups and downs? Call today to schedule your complimentary appointment with Jamie Westenbarger now at 1-888-986-6639. And now, the hosts of the Keeping Your Money Show, Jamie Westenbarger and Bart Steinler.
All right, welcome back to Keep Your Money Show. I'm Jamie Westenbarger, joined as always by Bart Steinler. If you're tuning in for the next show, you missed it. I'm back an hour earlier. I promise it's not boring.
No. Get up a little earlier, have a cup of coffee, and listen to the Keeping Your Money show.
Absolutely. We covered 8 surprising things you need to know about retirement. We discussed a man who spent 5 years finding the one daily habit that's probably keeping you from financial independence. 8 financial decisions you'll regret forever. And we talked about the pluses and minuses of taking a pension versus a lump sum distribution from your company if they offer it. In a couple days, we have our monthly mixer, April 12th. Where are we going to be, Bart?
Don't procrastinate. Call an RSVP to our monthly mixer at the Battle Creek Country Club. It's from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It's a casual open house style event. We serve complimentary beverages and hors d'oeuvres. There is no sales presentations, no pitches. Just come by and get a chance to meet the people from the Keeping Your Money show and the other people who listen to the Keeping Your Money show. You can RSVP by going to our website, which is keepingyourmoney.com, and go to the events tab. Or you can call 888-98-MONEY. That's 888-986-6639.
Outstanding. And as we talked about a couple times during the show, we are only 2 months away from our 3rd annual charity golf outing benefiting Kids Food Basket. Over $18,000 raised last year. We'd like to make it more than 25 this year, but we need your help. All you got to do is come golf. It's that easy. We got all kinds of fun stuff, prizes and auctions and 50-50 and just a great time. Lunch and dinner are included. Even if you're just a single golfer or there's 2 of you or whatever, we'll get you teamed up. We've got plenty of people that don't have a whole team, so don't think you have to have a whole team. If you're a company and you want to sponsor a team or sponsor a hole or sponsor a prize, we'd love to hear from you. All the money that you contribute is tax deductible through Kids Food Basket being a 5013C. All right, I'm going to tell you, like I tell you every week, you'd never go on trips, and maybe you're on spring break right now. You'd never do that without planning. You'd never do that without figuring out where you're going to go ahead of time. No one ever just shows up at a hotel in a resort area and hopes they have a room for them and that they can just get it. You don't ever go to the airport and just walk up to the counter to buy a ticket. I mean, we all know that's poor planning. Well, poor planning is also thinking that's how you're going to handle retirement. You don't just wake up one day, you're 65, call your boss and tell him you're done, get your gold watch, and then live the rest of your days in enjoyment. That's not how it works.
They don't give gold watches anymore.
I know they don't. Retirement is going to be one of the longest things you do in your life. You may be retired longer than you're going to work, and you're going to have to pay for all of it. That's the reality. Call me now. Let me help you get your roadmap for your retirement set up today. Absolutely free first appointment, no obligation, no cost, no pressure. Just come in and see where you're at in this whole process and let us help you. I'm Jamie Westenbarger for Bart Steinler, Shannon Simon, Troy Fox on the Lakeshore, and the rest of the crew here at Keeping Your Money. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. Find us at keepingyourmoney.com.
The opinions voiced in this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investment or investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial advisor, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered in the U.S. through First Allied Securities, Inc., a registered broker-dealer, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through First Allied Advisory Services, Inc., a registered investment advisor.